In 1880, in the reign of Victoria of England, a number of events occurred which led to a man giving his name to the languages of the world. That man was Captain Boycott. The wild county of Mayo in the west of Ireland, a land capable of giving happiness, but producing only poverty and deep, festering hatreds.
What's happened there?
It's George Hussey, Major Scott's bailiff.
Dead?
Why wouldn't he be? 3 weeks upside down in a bog hole with 100 weight of stones round his neck.
Don't look, Billy. It's not for you to see.
I've seen men dead before.
Why have they stopped?
I don't know, Father.
That's a terrible death to mete out to any living man.
What can you expect with Major Scott evicting in all directions?
That's no reason for shoving a bailiff down a bog hole. That'll settle enough.
Settle the bailiff.
How are things around Loch Mask, Sergeant?
Quiet at present.
We're sitting peacefully on top of a barrel of gunpowder waiting on events. It's a very delicate situation altogether.
It'll be more than delicate for you if you don't deliver this post. Go along with you now.
Oh, all right, all right. But when the rivers of Mayo are flowing with blood, give a quiet thought to what I said.
Get along with you now, will you? When I tell you.
It's a queer, neglected spot, this land of Mayo, that's been left tagging behind in the footsteps of progress. But it's your inheritance. It's been yours since time began. It's been handed down to you by your forefathers. And although somebody's got in between them and you for the last couple of centuries, it's still yours. Get that into your heads. Nature has given you a priceless birthright. She has endowed you with wealth beyond the dreams of avarice. Well, maybe she's been going a bit easy lately. The crops of 78 and 79 weren't too good, and this year's doesn't seem to be a whole lot better. But sure, that's just the contrary way with nature. And look at your compensations. Look at your landlords, if you can find them. I've taught you to count. Then count. I count the 20,000 of our people that have been thrown off their farms in the last 3 years because they couldn't pay their rents. But can you count pain, hunger, suffering, wretchedness? No, you can't. Well, leaving you to digest the historical importance of what I've been telling you, that concludes the lessons for the day. We're going on a walk tomorrow, picking a few flowers. Maybe we can find out what's wrong with nature. We're starting from the schoolhouse at 9 o'clock. Any of you living near Cong can gather outside Jack Donovan's pub there at 10. Good afternoon, Father.
Would that be history or geography you were teaching them, Daniel?
You're a father, you could call it a bit of both.
You're shifting about a bit, aren't you? The last time I was here, it was the Sahara Desert you were giving them.
It was a wee bit dry for them, Father. I came home.
And in the history, you'd only got up to Henry VIII.
Oh, we skipped him, Father. That's not the class of a man you'd want to tell young children too much about. We had no books for some of the fellas came after him, so I thought I'd pass over a few years and bring the whole lot up to date.
But modern history has its pitfalls.
There's no man, Father, knows better where they are than myself.
I can see that.
Besides, did you ever hear me tell them anything that wasn't the truth?
No, Daniel. But you might happen to have a way of presenting the truth which would leave it a bit lopsided. We've enough trouble in this generation without stirring it up for the next. Did you hear that Captain Boycott was handing out eviction notices?
I knew it had happened, Father.
Watty Connell is out serving them now.
Father, it's a long step from serving the notices to throwing people off their farms.
It may come to that.
I hope not. The thought of the violence it has led to in other parts is enough to put the heart across a peace-loving man like myself.
I'm sure.
It's the same everywhere.
What are you going to do?
Put it back.
You're late, Sean. Fine time for the post office to keep. Have half a mind to take my business elsewhere.
Out of the way there, Davin.
You have a sack of seed for me, Sean.
You'll collect it in the proper place, the post office.
I wanted to do a little winter sowing before the weather breaks, Sergeant. You wouldn't be holding up the crops, would you? Now, come on, Sean. I'll buy you a pint of the pattern later. Damn boy.
Here you are, Hugh, lad. Seeing Martin Egan's tent by the bowling alley. They found George Hussey.
Where?
In a bog hole at Topicality.
I've known worse than Hussey. He's inside.
Family by the name of Cullen. Taken into Mother Creek's.
Look you here, Sean. You're deliberately wasting the government's time and money.
Well, that's fair enough. The government's got plenty of time and most of our money. How's Corrib, lad?
Grand.
See you around 7:30 then.
Ain't a while later, will you?
Lads think the country's run for their benefit.
What are you doing here, Connell?
Maybe I'm just taking the air.
Well, couldn't you pollute it somewhere else?
When that horse makes you cocky, Davin. Suppose you get down.
What are you after, Connell?
Rising 5 now he'd be, wouldn't he?
Never mind about the horse.
But I do. And I mind the day Captain Boycott saw a horse Connemara Black was at grass in the lake field, and a certain mare got loose.
Did she so?
A fence down here, a gap opened there. 'Twas a neat piece of cunning.
I would have done a thing like that without paying stud fees.
You bred that horse from Connemara Black, Davin. I'd know the breeding anywhere.
Well, if I did, I'd be the only man alive who got something for nothing out of old Jimmy Boycott.
If I was a farm bailiff, I wouldn't be slow looking for police protection.
Speaking for myself, I'd feel safer with the military.
No, with a horse like that, you'll not have to be worrying over owing rent.
So that's it. In a few months, you'll get your rent.
Thinking of running the lad at Koran races?
I might.
And you fancy Captain Boycott will wait till then for his money?
Well, he's waited a 12-month.
He's mindful of that. Supposing the horse loses?
It's a thought that never entered me head.
I've known it happen. Take my advice, Davin, and sell it to someone better fit to train it and stick to your farming.
The way I run my farm is my affair.
And the captain's, too, when the rent is owing. There's your process, served on you in a proper and legal form. Let you pay in the time named in the order, or we'll evict you and sell you up. Do you think we're likely to wait until Koran races, on the off chance of a half-trained horse carrying off the prize?
What did he want?
The old story. A present from the captain.
I've been thrown off better farms than this stretch of shaved bog, and paid less rent for them.
It's not losing the farm I'm concerned about, it's the lad.
It's no more than you deserve. There's a deal else you might be doing instead of gallivanting round with a horse.
Watty Connell has just reminded me of the time when Connemara Black was grazing in the lake field and a few bits of fence fell over in some queer fashion.
If I didn't make a way for the mare here and there, it was the unlucky day I did it. I never reckoned on you spending 3/4 of your waking hours with the animal. If your father was alive, he'd have had something to say about it.
With you around?
He wouldn't have taken an eviction notice from any bailiff or process server without belting the hide off of him if he left it at that. You wouldn't have got him meekly accepting a state of affairs like this. He spoke to the landlords in the language they understood, and it's not so different today. I'm told there's opportunities hereabouts for a man that's so minded. I've heard tell of them gathering together again. organising and drilling, ready for the moment to strike. There are times when I don't recognise your father in you, son.
Left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right. Halt! Left, turn!
I'm late, Daniel. Couldn't be helped. Stand at ease. I had business with Connell. Boycott serving eviction notices.
There's 4 here today, I've had them. Did the guns come?
Guns? That is the entire consignment. I got a note. We can expect the rest later.
Later? Later? It's our grandchildren that'll fight this rebellion.
Ah, they'll come. Ah, John, Pat. A small muster here tonight.
Seamus Moore and the whole clatter of them are up at the patron, singing and dancing and drinking themselves rotten.
Well, can you blame them? Half a dozen guns among 40 men. What's the use of that?
We'll get the arms, Michael.
If you ask me, we'd be a sight better off talking over our troubles with the Land League. They haven't got guns, but they've got Mr. Parnell.
When we get the guns, they'll listen to something a sight more powerful.
We don't want to waste our guns on landlords and bailiffs. George Hussey was found strangled today.
Where?
Tormacady.
Hussey has been asking for trouble for a long time now.
Well, he got it. And as far as I'm concerned, the more that follow him, the better. But not by way of our guns. When we use them, we'll use them on soldiers. But before we do that, we'll need to have a bit more discipline ourselves. There's some of you here seem to mistake this army for a debating society.
You're right, you. Get into line, you fellas. Party, son.
Left, turn! Quick, march! Left, right, left. Pick them up, you!
Hello there, Hugh. I was wondering where you'd got to.
Good evening, Father.
We were up in Jack Donoghue's place, Father. We were having a divil of an argument about Greek philosophy, but it went on a bit too long.
Jack Donaghy's here, Daddy.
We were talking to his daughter, Father.
His daughter's here with him.
We mean the youngest daughter, Father.
Oh, the youngest, dear me. Now, let me see. She must be nearly 8.
Oh, all of that, Father.
And you were discussing Greek philosophy. Well.
But she's a very remarkable child for her age.
She must be. If I were you, I'd move her up a form or two, then.
It was the look of her from the back that attracted me first. And when she turned around, I saw that the face fitted the figure.
I've been waiting for that point since 8:30.
You've been filling in the time, I see. Another here, Martin.
I was watching her dancing out there just now. She was like an angel sailing over the ground. I never saw the like of her here. She's not from anywhere 20 miles around. That I'll swear.
You think I'll try me lock at the bowling alley?
If you're looking to meet her, she's here with Mary Cree. I saw Mary going into Mother Eyre's tent to see how many babies the cards had in store for her.
Months, I see a man entered in your life.
I'm afraid I'm a bit on the early side, Mrs. Eyre. How are the rheumatics?
Much better, thank you.
Did you have to come here spoiling everything, Hugh?
I'm afraid, Mary Craig, the spell is broken. That'll be threepence, please.
You've got a nerve, Hugh. Just as I was getting her going nicely.
If I'd come a moment later, she'd have given you 10 children. Think of the fate I've saved you from. Mary, me doty. Who's the beautiful red-headed girl you're here with today?
I might have guessed there was something at the back of all this.
Her name's Killane, that I know. What would her Christian name be?
Anne.
Anne. And Mary, me love, where's she from?
Wexford, Hugh, me darling, and she's 21, 5'6" tall, takes a 4-inch shoe, and anything else you can ask her yourself now. Oh, and this is Hugh Devon. He's the reason why so many girls from here have emigrated to America. He's been asking about you, so I've given him full particulars. Come on, Con, let's try a look at the shies.
She's a jewel of a girl. And that was a powerful class of an introduction, I must say. I saw you on the coach today.
I remember.
The long journey from Wexford.
2 days. The only thing that travels fast in Ireland is gossip.
Well, it spreads the good news. This belongs to you, does it not?
Yes. Sack split open. There was nothing to tie it with.
If I'd have lost that seed, I'd have been in a bit of a fix.
Would you know?
I would.
Hey there, Devon. I want a word with you, my lad. Where's Watty Connell?
Connell?
Yes. He should have met Captain Boycott a full 3 hours ago.
Why should I know where he is? Have you tried the pubs?
You know as well as I do that Watty Connell's a total abstainer. You were the last man to be seen with him. I passed the 2 of you together myself.
He served me with an eviction notice and then he went off up the Killala Road. Can't a man go off on his own without you come?
When bailiffs go off on their own, they have a habit of not coming back.
What do you mean by that, Sergeant?
The postcoach arrived over 3 hours ago. Where have you been since? I've asked you a question, Devon.
Supposing I don't care to answer, Sergeant. Why should I account to you for my movements?
Maybe you'd rather account to the magistrates. Search him, Harry.
There won't be any need to do that, Sergeant. He's been with me the whole evening. He was here when I came.
I didn't ask you to interfere in this, young woman.
There seems to be no reason for disbelieving her, Sergeant.
This is my responsibility, Father.
And I wouldn't be taking it too lightly. I would remind you there can be no arrest in law without reasonable suspicion.
I wonder will you know your law so well, Father, when Connell's found dead. You'll talk then, Devon. And I'll have something to say to you, young woman.
Good night to you all.
Good night, Father. Thank you.
I'm going home now.
I'll come with you.
It's not necessary.
You can't go home alone. So you knew I had a gun?
I don't want to talk about it.
Then what made you stop the sergeant?
I had a brother once who was caught with a gun. I wouldn't want that to happen to anyone else.
They ran him in?
They shot him. Good night.
Do you think I killed Watty Connell?
What difference does it make? If you didn't shoot him, you'll shoot someone else. Then they'll shoot you. And so it goes on.
There's a deal to be said for killing rats like Connell, but murder in cold blood serves no one but the hangman.
Then why carry a gun? Good night, Mr. Devon. Thank you for seeing me home.
The thanks are on my side. Good night, Anne.
I was walking down by the loch this morning. You know, way to the west of the river there. Well, there's a 5-acre field. There you are, Anne. We've been waiting for you. This is my daughter, Anne. Mr. Connell.
I've been looking forward to meeting you, Miss Gillane. Your father's been telling me about you.
Right, this. Come along there, Mulligan. Don't you know your right from your left? That's better. Eyes front. Standard, east. There's been a great deal of slackness the last few days. I don't know if it's the warm weather, but I won't have it. O'Mara, you were 5 minutes late this morning. I shall fine you. 2d. If I pay you by the hour, I expect an hour's work, not 55 minutes. Milligan, you broke a ploughshare yesterday.
I did, sir.
I don't want any excuses. I shall recover it from your wages.
The share was an old one, Captain, and it's all rock up on the North Hill.
When I want your opinion, Duggan, I shall ask for it and not before. Is that understood? Kennedy, McGann, Boyle. I expect you to finish work on the 12-acre tonight.
But, Captain, we only began noon yesterday.
I know when you began. Every time I give an order here, I get an argument. Do some of you fellas a power of good to spend a few years in the army. Scully, I want the Prince saddled here at 11 o'clock. That doesn't mean 4:30. That's all. Attention! Dismiss.
A deputation from the Land League, I hear, Captain.
Land League. This country's organization mad, Connell. Used to be the Ribbon Boys, then the Fenians. Now it's this Land League.
It's said they're after getting their way by peaceful means this time.
Peaceful means? In Ireland, Connell, that is a contradiction in terms. Thugs, my dear fellow.
You agreed to see them, Captain.
They're getting above themselves. I intend to make that perfectly clear. I will not have any of this Jack's as good as his master nonsense here. It could spread, you know.
I suppose it could.
Then it must be stamped out now. This politician fellow Parnell careering up and down the country is the cause of half the trouble. Landowner himself, too. Simply can't understand a man like that.
Oh, sir. The men from the Land League is waiting to see you in the drawing room.
Who told you to show them in there?
Well, sir, they was looking so important.
You see what I mean, Colonel? It's spreading to the servants already. Bring them here to the proper place, the rent office. Did you hear that? Important. And I pride myself on being an open-minded man. I've listened very patiently to your arguments. Very patiently indeed. But one thing I will not tolerate is dictation.
We're not dictating to you, Captain.
You're demanding a reduction of rents.
We're asking for a reduction.
I'm not going to bandy words with you, Egan. You come in here, the lot of you, without the slightest show of respect. You trample into my drawing room.
We didn't ask to be brought into your drawing room, sir. Our boots are clean, and we put on our Sunday suits, Captain.
I didn't. There you are, you see. They've no respect. I've no suit. Am I responsible for that? There's a bad spirit about these days which I don't intend to encourage. I absolutely refuse to reduce rents by a single penny.
We're not asking for a penny reduction, Captain. We're asking for 30%. There's not an acre of land for 20 miles round worth more.
The land is as good as the farmer who farms it. No better, no worse. The trouble is you expect to be spoon-fed. If some of you men would work harder during the good years, you'd have something to put by for the lean.
In the good years, you put the rents up.
The rents were too low.
Now they're too high.
Now, look here, Egan. I've had enough of your insolence. You stick to your public house and your huckstring of bad whiskey. What right have you to come here and talk for these men?
We elected Martin to speak for us.
There's no use carrying this any further. The captain knows that no man today can afford the rents he's asking. And I think we've made it clear that we don't intend to pay them. We'll let it rest there a while, so.
You may, Egan. I won't.
We know, Captain, it's open to you to throw men off their farms. It always is. But before you do that, you might be advised to study the lie of things around Galway. Or Termacady, for that matter. Come on, man, let's go.
You know, there are times when I can scarcely believe my own ears. The old loyalties, the old discipline seem to count for nothing these days. No one can say that I'm an unreasonable man. Get out, boy. For this is sheer blackmail, you know, Connell.
If they refuse to pay their rents, Captain, you can always evict them.
Yes, I know, but immediately they get wind that I'm going to evict them, they'll either barricade themselves in or drive their stock up into the hills. All I should get out of it is some old woman's hens. Happened to Major Scott, you know.
Scott went the wrong way about it.
I don't see what else he could have done.
The farms he evicted the people from are still lying idle.
Well, that's just it.
Because he didn't take the trouble to find new tenants before he evicted the old.
They are not to be found. You know that, Connell. Not in Mayo. They're too frightened to take over a farm that somebody else has been thrown off.
There's the whole of Ireland, Captain. Even one man might start the rot.
You're looking for more courage than you'll find nowadays. There's not much count given to human life round these parts. Of course, if I were to give him police protection, no doubt that would make a difference. Might protect you too, Connell. Can't afford to have you found in a bog hole.
Thank you, Captain.
But the difficulty is to find someone willing to take the risk. He'd have to face unpopularity, be ready to stick it out. If I could find such a man, Connell, I'd evict tomorrow.
On his way here to evict. I spotted him on the Con Road.
A dirty scoundrel.
Get the bonfires ready at the back of Egan's and wait there. They might strike in any direction.
Right.
Get along to the mountain, Jim, in case they strike north.
You better be getting home yourself, Hugh, in case they strike west.
Time enough for that. Warn Daniel and Stephen to take the rise of the crossroads facing east. Martin, they're evicted. Back to your homes, lads.
In the morning, when the Irish and the English had put 12 planks across the broken bridge at Limerick and closing the school for the day, run home to your mothers like the hammers of hell and tell them that the sheriff is evicting.
Joe, tell your granny to hide the truck in the usual place, behind the cowshed.
Julie, lock the schoolhouse door behind me and bring me the key at the back of Egan's.
Get you home, Hugh.
I'll be there half an hour before them if they strike west.
We'll go down there now. I'll tell you the plan when we get there. You and your men follow me.
Yes, Joe.
Right.
South. South, towards Con. Spread the fires! They're heading south! Look, they've seen it!
Coming up to the Headford crossroads.
Well, we've given them enough warning.
They've stopped.
They must take the Cong Road if they're striking south.
Cut down here by the northwest, by the Killar Road. Is that the plan, Captain?
That's right. Then cut across the field by the Ballymore dip. The car can come round by the road.
Very good, sir.
They've turned northwest up the Killar Road, so that's their game.
The south was a blind then.
They're making in your direction, Hugh.
Spread the fires north.
Leave that to us. Get you home, Hugh.
I'll be there before them.
Jimmy, Colin, spread the fires. They've turned about. Look, it's north towards Ballon Road they're going now.
saw the signal on the mount. Thomas driving the cat into the hills.
We got 2 minutes, no more.
We better get the lad away. Ride into Ballon. Where did you get that, son?
Never mind that. Away with you now, Mother. You get the cart away. I'll hold him off at the gate. They've passed us by. That's queer.
We got the notice, and we owe 3 gales of rent.
What are they after, I wonder?
And the best farm in the district. And the finest horse that's been bred in Mayo in a lifetime. Do they want to put us to shame before the whole population?
Useful horse young Gavin's got.
Very. He's entered it for the cup at Coran races.
The devil he has. Is that the animal he bred from the black?
It is.
He's a bad hat, Connell. Always said so. Got ideas beyond his station. I should have evicted him. Great mistake.
I offered his farm to the Killanes, but the girl didn't seem to fancy it for some reason.
Must be mad. It's a 10 times better farm than Michael Fagan's.
Mr. Boycott, sir, please, heaven, will you listen to me? We've little enough in the world. Must you take that from us? Ah, Mr. Boycott, sir, will you not hear me? Give us time and we'll pay you. Have you no pity in your heart? We've nowhere to go, Mr. Boycott. You dirty old cutthroat, you may the curse of blood be upon you.
They're barring up that door and they're leaving the roof on. That's for a reason. They're going to put another man under it. I bet the great heavens the man who crosses over my threshold will have me to reckon with.
The police will stay as long as they're needed. You promised that.
The captain has given you his word. You'll be perfectly safe.
Go on, Father.
And when the Land League went to see the captain, what happened? 10 days later, Michael here, and James Moore and Andy Clark were thrown off their farms.
A fine state of affairs to sit down under.
Aye, and will I tell you why we sit down under it? Because the entire country is hypnotized by the grand talk of Mr. Charles Stewart Parnell.
You're right.
The leader, they call him. A renegade landlord, swollen with his own importance, intoxicated by his own wild promises, and if the stories we hear about him are true, more interested in the woman he is than in the people of Ireland.
Isn't that what I've been saying all along? The man is sapping the vitality of the country, turning us soft.
Your daughter Mary is down below looking for you. She's in a great state about something.
How can we get rid of Mr. Parnell? He's got the whole Land League behind him.
We're not bothered about the lads behind. It's the fella in front.
Mr. Parnell is addressing a meeting at Ennis on Sunday next, and the entire population of the West will be there. Now, if we was to break up that meeting, it might be the start of something.
You, me boy, that's a great notion. It'll bring folks to a proper sense of their responsibilities, and it'll be a great bit of sport.
Get a hold of Jim Wiley's break. That
Hey
could
there.
hold 20 of us.
Mark Killane has just taken over Michael's farm.
Who told you that?
Me daughter Mary has just seen Ann Killane moving their furniture into the farm.
Did you know anything about this?
Nothing.
You were seen about with that girl.
I knew nothing of this.
Boycott must have brought her and her father up here to take over my farm. You didn't know that, maybe?
Now, look here, Michael.
It wasn't by any chance an arrangement between you and she that the captain passed over your farm.
Hold hard, lads, hold hard. There's enough accusing going on here without starting on each other.
Yeah, and there's the man that dares to talk about Parnell deserting his principles for a woman.
You've said enough, Michael.
Oh, you want to have it out, do you?
No, not with you. With somebody else. Is your father about?
What are you doing here?
I came to find out what you're doing here. A man was evicted from this farm a few days ago. You knew that.
I did.
Yet you still took his place.
We took it because we needed a roof.
The man who was evicted needed a roof, too. You didn't give a thought to that.
We had a farm and we were evicted. 3 years and my father hasn't worked since. Do you know what that means to a man? Do you think I'm going to let him rot his life away forever?
No. You'd rather let others rot theirs away. You'd rather go crawling to Boycott than stand together with your own people.
Stand together. I've heard phrases like that till my mind aches with the sound of them. They don't fill empty stomachs.
People have died for him.
My brother died for them. I saw him shot. I saw my mother and father thrown off their farm through it. I saw my mother die in a windy bar. And all because of this insane fight against the landlords.
We'll go on fighting and we'll win.
When? In 100 years' time when we're all dead.
Sooner than that, if people like you can be prevented from betraying their own cause.
We're not interested in causes. All my father and I ask is to be allowed to live our own lives. That's little enough, surely.
Not if it means destroying others.
We don't want to have anything to do with others.
No? Well, you tell me how you can avoid it. We're all part of a community, either you're for it or against it.
Then we're against it, and we'll stay against it.
Not here, you won't. Get out of this place. A roof will be found for you.
No. My father has sunk everything he has here. It's his whole life. We're not moving now. I don't care if everybody is against us and we haven't a friend in the world. My mind's made up. Will you go now?
I well know the misery and distress which these evictions have caused. And I haven't lived in your midst for 20 years without understanding the resentment and bitter passions which have been aroused. Oh, and I know that even though you are Irish, it could be that one or two of you might think to resort to violence. I must beg you to refrain. And do not think it is easy for me to ask you to love your neighbors without leaving out a couple here and there. And I might be accused of acting in a biased and unchristian manner if I were to indicate to you that I consider the actions of certain individuals of this parish to be vile, inhuman, and utterly reprehensible. But if I were to hint that I think that certain other people have behaved in a way which, to say the least, is unneighborly, short-sighted, and foolhardy, oh, yes, I'd be going a long way outside the duties of a parish priest if I were to pass judgment on these people. Just as it would be improper for me to suggest a remedy. As, for instance, recommending you to go and listen to Mr. Parnell, who I hear is speaking in Ennis this afternoon. And since the subject's come up, I don't mind saying that it is the purest piece of chance that Mass has finished a bit earlier this morning than usual. However convenient it might be for the one or two of you who might be thinking, rightly or wrongly, of going to hear the great man.
The great man. Did you hear that now? Well, we'll give the great man a right fitting reception. Have you got the artillery, Bob?
We have.
Is that all?
It is not. Jim's got a couple of pounds, and Joe's got a dozen rotten eggs.
That's more like it. Where's Hugh? Hey, Hugh!
till I give the signal now. I'll let him get well into his stride first, and then when I throw, you all throw. You got that?
Do you think they'll start any trouble?
We're starting the trouble, Daniel.
Yeah, but we're not in a very good position here. Will there be many in disagreement with us, do you imagine?
I should think 100 against us for every one for us.
As many as that?
Every movement has to have its beginning, Daniel. Next time it'll only be 10 to 1 against.
Next time.
Daniel O'Connell dedicated himself to the cause, so I have pledged myself to the same cause. The cause of Irish liberty. As he waged war, so we will wage war, but it will be war of a different sort. The success or failure of the Land Bill next session will be the measure of your activity this coming winter. Your determination not to pay unjust rents. Your determination to keep a firm grip on your homesteads. Your determination never to bid for farms from which others have been evicted. Now, what are you to do to a tenant who does bid for a farm from which his neighbor has been evicted?
Kill him! Shoot him!
I think I heard somebody say shoot him. There is a very much better way, a more Christian and charitable way, which will give the lost soul an opportunity of repenting. When a man takes a farm from which another has been evicted, you must shun him. Shun him. On the roadside when you meet him, in the streets of the town, in the shop, on the fair green and in the marketplace, and even in the house of worship. By isolating him from his kind as if he were a leper of old, you must show him your detestation of the crime he has committed. Shun him, cut him, brand him, excommunicate him. If you do this, you may depend upon it, there will be no man so full of avarice, so lost to shame, as to dare to face the cold, accusing finger of public scorn.
Martin about, Josie?
He's gone down to the chapel to see his reverence.
Did he say when he'd be back?
He said he'd be gone some time.
I have never seen anyone command such attention as Mr. Parnell did yesterday. But the whole success of his scheme depends on the country being behind him.
There's still a lot after giving him trouble, Father.
Has it ever been tried sending people to Coventry and other countries, Father?
It has been tried naturally in the course of history and with varying degrees of success.
There'll be powerful opposition from the landlords if it does start.
It'll be interesting to watch and see what happens.
Why not let us make it happen? Let others watch. Why not start the whole thing off here in Mayo by sending old Jemmy Boycott to Coventry?
Who asked you here?
Nobody. I came to see you, Martin, and all of you. I didn't know you was the Land League, Father.
I take an interest in everything that goes on in the parish, Hugh.
What do you want with us, Hugh?
I want to be with you. I believe Parnell has found the surest way to freedom for a people without weapons. We have an army of millions that doesn't need guns, pay, and a uniform. All that's left for us now is to act.
Well said. We're only too pleased to have you with us, Hugh. But don't rush us, my boy.
I heard you say just now that Parnell was the man and this was the moment.
It may be the moment, Hugh, but is this the place?
If you searched the whole of Ireland, you couldn't find a riper old rascal who said about than the captain.
There's truth in that, and maybe if we set an example, you...
Boycott and Connell are gone up to head for this evening. I had it from his housekeeper.
Duggan? Murphy, Mullins. Where are they? They knew I'd be back to dinner. What does Duggan mean by leaving that turf lying about? I'll put him on carting manure tomorrow. Find out where this come on and report to me, Connell.
Hi there. Duggan, where are you?
Mrs. McHugh, come here at once. Mrs. McHugh, Bridget, Marie, Nora. Mrs. McHugh, where are you? Good heavens. Mrs. McHugh! Oh, confound them. I'll sack the lot of them. Mrs. Mc... Bridget? Where are you going?
Home, sir.
What's happening here?
I don't know, sir.
You don't know. Where's everybody? Where's Mrs. McHugh?
She's gone, sir.
Gone where?
To Claire Morris. She's spending the night with Mrs. Coyne.
Mrs. Coyne, too. What's been going on in this house while I've been out? Answer me, girl.
There's something queer happening. I've been to their quarters. There's not a soul left, stableman or labourer.
Well, there's nobody in the house either, except this creature, and I caught her on the way out.
Come on, you. What do you know?
Nothing, Mr. Connell, nothing at all. Indeed, I don't.
Somebody's been here talking to him. Who was it?
I don't know, Mr. Connell.
Then why are you leaving?
He said we were to leave.
Who said it?
He was a stranger, Mr. Connell. I never set eyes on him before. Indeed, I didn't.
Talk now, will you? Out with it, you little slut, or I'll tan the hide off you. Who was it?
Hugh Davin.
Hugh Davin? What the devil can he want with a dozen men and 7 servants?
We'll soon find out. There's more to this than meets the eye.
Well, nothing meets my eye, Connell. Nothing whatsoever. Absolutely incomprehensible. Make way there. Stand to, you men. Stand to. It's you I want, Davin. What the devil do you mean by forcing your way into my house and persuading my men and my servants to leave their work? Answer me.
You got Monday's paper there, Martin.
I have.
I didn't come here to read newspapers, confound you.
It'll save a whole whack of talk.
You can get Parnell's speech there, on the front page.
I'm not going to read a lot of seditious drivel. I asked you why you came to my house and told my servants to leave.
So long as you go on demanding high rents and throwing people off their farms when they can't pay them, no man or woman will work for you. Your food will go uncooked, your horses unshod, your bread unbaked, and your crops ungathered. Apart from that, you can live in perfect peace, Captain. For no man will have anything to do with you till you come to your senses.
You have the temerity to stand there and threaten me with some criminal charade?
Not criminal, Captain. There's no law against withdrawing labor.
How dare you address me in terms like that? In decent conditions, I'd have you horsewhipped.
We've moved on a bit since those days, Captain.
Are you not maybe forgetting that you have a farm? I'd walk warily cocky if I was you.
I know you could evict me, Connell. I expect that.
You'll get a great deal more than you expect, you peasant upstart, and whoever's with you in this. I've close on £300 worth of crops standing today, and I'll save every sheaf of them, in spite of you and 1,000 Parnells. I'll have every landlord in Ireland behind me in this, and I'll break every man jack of you.
Poor old Jimmy Boycott. You're in a queer fix, all right.
Hey! Get away there! Billy.
Go to sleep. There's a good lad.
This'll happen again and worse if you stay on here, you know that.
I warned him not to leave the farm.
Next time it'll be your father.
We have police protection.
Police protection. One night from an ambush it'll happen. They'll bide their time.
Why do you come here saying things like that? We've done nothing to deserve this persecution. Can't you go away and leave me alone?
You've time enough to be left alone.
I didn't ask for your pity.
Do you believe it's pity?
What are you doing here?
Billy was set on by some boys. Hugh brought him back.
Is he all right?
He's all right now.
I suppose you expect our thanks.
Father.
Well, we've no use for your kind here, with your threats and your fancy ideas. Do you think you and a crowd of young jackanapes can bring down a revolution on them that's been running things for hundreds of years? Ah, you poor Egypts. With the back of their hand, they'll knock you flat.
Will they so? We shall see. Goodbye, Anne.
Extraordinary letter here, Humphrey. Fella called Boycott out in the west of Ireland. Can't get his harvest in.
Never can there. It's always raining.
Seems his labourers have left him in a body. Why? I can't quite make it out. But he must be right, otherwise the Times wouldn't print it.
The difference between Robinson Crusoe and Captain Boycott? I don't know, Sam.
Well, Robinson Crusoe had a man Friday. Captain Boycott can't get a man any day of the week.
Violence in its most terrifying form is being dealt out to that gallant, unfortunate gentleman, Captain Boycott. His cattle have been maimed, his stock stolen, and his ricks burned. He and his bailiff dare not venture abroad without the strongest police protection.
Excuse me. I wonder if you could help me. I represent the London Times. Could you direct me to some responsible person connected with the local branch of the Land League?
Responsible person?
Oh. Oh, I see. Well, perhaps I should have said one of the organizers.
I fancy you wouldn't go far wrong if you went to the chapel. Oh, there's Martin Egan, the fellow that keeps the pub over there.
How very convenient. Thank you. Just pull round the corner and wait for me there. And don't tell any other newspaper man where I am.
Hello, here's Charlie.
Hello.
40,000 troops are expected to descend on Lochmask House today to protect the 50 volunteers who are coming to collect Captain Boycott's crops.
Stop.
The tension is terrific.
Stop.
Can the captain stay the course?
Question.
Your correspondent managed to break through the cordon guarding the house and interviewed Captain Boycott with Farm Bailiff Connell, his only remaining companion. Both had been drinking heavily.
What was that? What? Yeah, he's right. Cut out the drinking. We don't want any sympathy for him in the States.
The captain stated that the volunteers and their escort are expected hourly and that they will set up camp.
Hush, listen.
Puncheston but had to scratch him. He came home in a canter at Galway and won the next week at Mullingar. I'm riding his son, the Red Prince, at Curran. He's a great horse, too.
Shall we be here to see you win?
Well, hang it, I hope not. The meeting's not till the end of the month.
Huh? Oh.
After being cut off from the world for all these weeks, it must be dashed exciting meeting someone to have a chinwag with. What?
Press, you know. Couldn't keep them out. Well, Colonel, I very much appreciate the help you... Who's that?
The Times.
As I was saying, Colonel, I appreciate the help you've given me in arranging this reception. I couldn't have managed it otherwise. It's been quite absurd here lately. No, I had to go 20 miles to get a haircut.
We'll soon put that right.
I'm sure you will, Colonel. Well, fill up the glasses, Colonel. I want to offer a toast.
Attention, everybody.
Ladies and gentlemen, I should like to take this opportunity of welcoming to Lockmask that gallant band of officers and men who've braved the terror which grips our countryside and threatens our lives, our liberty, and our property. I am confident now that in a very short while we shall teach these ruffians a lesson they richly deserve.
Didn't I tell you the landlords would fight to the last drop of the other fella's sweat? It'll take something a sight stronger than talk to settle this.
Just in time, Danny. This one is on the house.
A drink is welcome after what I've just seen.
What's that?
Maybe I'd offend you pious landleaguers if I told you. I saw the lie between Parnell's teeth. I saw Boycott's men going home after a good day's work in the fields. Let no man deny what that means. It means defeat. It means that Boycott's crops will be gathered, that the evictions will go on, that we are all men doomed to the beggary of the roads and the bogs. That's what I care for Parnell and his peaceful landleaguers. This job needs guts. It needs guns. It needs the marshalling of men in arms. It needs blood. Their blood and our blood intermingled in a stream for liberty.
Come on, Danny, give us another speech.
That's right. Another speech.
I am received in silence by me fellow countrymen, while me English enemies cheer me.
She is maybe in uniform, but you're still human beings. Heaven help you.
We're that all right.
We're only carrying out our orders.
Well, that doesn't stop us from thinking a thing or two. Yeah.
I was hoping that, yes. Given a little time and encouragement. Just a few points here, Martin. Well, you have the next one with me. But don't let's drink to the Queen or Mr. Parnell. Let's just drink to us. Huh?
Well, there are not 50 men down there.
Nothing like it.
Do you think the others have started on the 12-acre?
I doubt it.
I'd like to have some of these fellas on the barrack square. They've been on that field since Monday. I thought a week at first, 10 days perhaps. It's over 3 weeks now, and they haven't half the crops in yet. It's hitting me badly, Colonel. Very badly.
You remember the Colonel asking if they'd be here for Curran races? They will be now.
They'll be here for Christmas at this rate. My only chance now is to gamble on the Prince at Curran.
You think that wise?
Well, I must recover my losses, man.
Davin's horse is still in the race, Captain.
Nonsense, Colonel. However good the horse may be, trained by an amateur, it can't possibly stand a chance. You know, it wouldn't surprise me, Colonel, if half the trouble we're having wasn't brought about deliberately by that roughneck Davin and his mob.
I've been watching him lately.
Hi, what's going on up there? Come down here at once and get back to the fields. I don't pay you for this sort of thing.
Sure, we'll do it for nothing, Captain.
That's Joe Brannigan's trap. Were you expecting him, Captain?
No. I had a letter from him this morning saying he was giving the Prince a trial on Thursday.
What is it, Joe?
The Prince has broken a fetlock.
Oh, this is the devil of a blow, Colonel. I'd relied on the Prince. I was going to back myself to win 5,000 at Curran. Would just about have pulled me out of this mess. You realize what this means, don't you? I shall have to get out of here. Sell up. No alternative. I banked everything on winning this race.
You might still, Captain.
Take the lad up to the long meadow.
Oh, there you are, Hugh. You're back early.
What was Michael Fagan doing here?
He was after a loan of the short side, but I told him you were needing it.
Why would he want it? He's no farm.
Sure, it was an excuse for a bit of a talk, I suppose.
You're lying, Mother.
Me, son?
Where is it?
I don't know, son.
You gave it to him.
The poor lad's wife and child are hungry, Hugh. He wanted the gun to do a bit of poaching. You can't blame him for that.
You know that's not why he took it.
You don't believe me. All right, so. It's time somebody showed fight round here. The people are starving and dying for the want of work. And you stand here like a gawk and...
Anne! Anne, where's your father?
In the field. Is anything wrong?
Well, the man with a gun looking for him won't have to shoot twice. Which field?
But over there, the two policemen guarding him. There can't be any danger.
Up with you there! Where's Killeen?
Where is he?
I'm asking you.
He was here in this field not 5 minutes ago.
Father, where are you? Father!
Killeen!
Hey, Killeen!
He's gone to the South Meadow, maybe.
The South Meadow.
Who is the man with the gun?
Would you make an informer of me? I'll promise you this much. If I can find him, I'll get the gun off him.
Thank you. Not everyone would have come to warn us. They dug an open grave in front of our door the other night. That's the third threat they've made.
Well, one day they'll carry it out. You can't stay here.
Where can we go?
Well, there are farms that are not forbidden.
None that we can afford.
Now, you could share a farm.
With whom? Who'd want strangers like us? Why are you looking at me like that?
I was thinking. You are a stranger. We both are. We scarcely met when we quarreled and parted. And I love you.
You're not in love with me. You can't be. You can't be. You just can't.
You said that 3 times. You knew I was in love with you the night I brought Billy home.
I did not.
Oh, you're a desperate woman.
I'm trying to be a sensible woman, but you're not helping.
I'm trying to. I'm asking you to marry me and share me farm.
Oh, Hugh, we can't. I've caused you enough trouble already. Think what would happen. Oh, Hugh, I'm afraid. What's that?
I don't know.
Now, gentlemen, here's what you've all been waiting for. The 5-year-old grey gelding Corab lad, schooled over fences and hurdles and passed as sound. I'm not going to say a lot about his pedigree. There's a bit of confusion here in the stud book. But his mother was a grey called Sally Jane. And according to rumour, she got around quite a bit. One day making a casual call on his father, who was at grass at the time, but didn't let it grow under his feet. Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, you have seen the noble animal. What am I bid? What am I bid?
£5.
£5. Gentlemen over there having a nice, quiet, private joke. Come on now, let's get down to business. Make me an offer, someone. Who'll give me a bid? Gentlemen, I'm not here for the good of me health, and I'm not here selling umbrellas. I'm starting this horse at £50, or I'm hanging up me hammer. Here, Sean, give me a bid for £50, no? What about you, Seamus? I've sold you worse horse than this for more money. Well, I've never given a horse away like this before in my life. Very well, gentlemen. It'll be written against me in the book of judgment, but he goes for a £5. To Captain Boycott for £5. Go on, go on.
You're better off away from here, Captain.
And then on top of that, you pay £5 for this animal, which sounds rather like dishonesty to me.
Dishonesty? Now, look here, Colonel. That's going a bit too far. And they wouldn't bid for the horse at the auction. Well, I couldn't help that, could I?
Well, that's beside the point. It's taking advantage of the situation, to say the least. Now you add insult to injury by deciding to ride this animal at Koran.
Well, the horse was entered by Davin. There's not much difference, surely, in the mere changing of a rider. Eh, Colonel?
Nobody except ourselves and Brannigan need know who's riding the horse until the day of the race.
How can you both make such childish pretensions?
Childish?
Even my own men will see the injustice of it. You can't make British soldiers fight for what any fool can see is a rotten cause.
Colonel, it's not a matter of choice for the captain. He must win this race or go bankrupt.
I'm thousands in debt. Between the laziness of the labourers and the wholesale pilfering of your soldiers, I'm nearly ruined.
I'm not interested in your domestic affairs, Captain. My duty as a soldier is to keep the peace here. If you ride this horse at Koran, I will not be responsible.
I thought when he bought that horse that there was a purpose in it.
I never dreamt he'd run it at Koran.
They took care to conceal the fact. You'll notice the race cards were printed in Dublin.
And they went on sale till this morning.
Well, they may have thought that if it was known the captain was going to ride the lad, somebody would organise a little opposition.
They're not taking any chances.
Well, that's a rare old bit of deliberate insult. He throws Davin off his farm, he buys his horse, then dares to run it in front of us. If ever a man spat in the face of trouble, he's doing it.
Aye, and he's protecting himself against it.
2 to 1 Fancy Free. 6 to 1 Bantry Bay.
You know, there's something wrong here, Jim. 4 races and we haven't taken £5 yet. We can make more money, honestly.
They're saving up for the chase, maybe.
That's likely. What'll they give us on the Mayo Chase? 6 to 1 Bantry Bay. 4 to 1 Corab lad.
We're offering 4 to 1 the captain's horse. Do you think I ought to let a domestic affair interfere with me instincts as a racing man? It'd be very foolish, wouldn't it?
You would be.
See what you mean.
It's easy to assess the mood of a mob, but the behaviour is unpredictable. Anything may happen, or nothing.
Well, if it does, there's little we can do about it, and not a lot I'd want to.
I got 3,000 at 6s and 2 at 8.
Bantry Bay and Fancy Free are the chief dangers.
Bad stays, both of them.
I'd have given a lot to see the faces of our friends when they see the car.
Well, I'd give more to see him when I pass the post.
If you're first past.
I shall be.
Good luck, Captain.
The inspector's very anxious, sir. The crowd seem to be taking things badly.
He hardly expected them to leap for joy, did he? I shan't move unless I'm absolutely forced to. I shall have to. Deploy in front of the stands, as far as the crowd extends. We'll leave the police to take care of the rest.
I thought that would happen.
So we stand here and allow Mr. Captain Boycott to walk all over us. Just getting up on our elbows to doff our hats to him while he sticks his foot in our faces. And just call yourselves Mayo, man.
Lining up now. It'd be a great day for the crowd if Boycott fell.
I came in last.
Neither is likely.
Get into line now. Back up there. No. Up you come now. Get ready. Off!
What's happening, Danny?
He's not there.
He's still well behind. This may work out all right.
He's playing a waiting game, maybe.
Doesn't look like it to me.
He's moving up now. He's just behind the leaders.
He'll win the race, be a distance.
You think so?
I ought to know. He's my horse.
They're in a bunch now.
There's three of them together. Fancy Free is in front, Fancy Vey, then Corabla.
He's coming up now. They're coming to the jump. He's over it. He's in the lead now. He's running away with it.
No. Fancy Free is still well there. Fancy Free is falling back. You're right, Hugh. I'm afraid it's all over by the circle.
That could go on quite a time.
He's 6 lengths ahead with 2 furlongs to go. And we stand here like a bunch of helpless idiots watching him. Are we going to allow this thing to happen to us? Are we mice or men? Not him, lads, for the honour of Mayo!
Quick! What's stopping you? Away!
How do we, Captain? For your life?
Helene!
It's Fagan and Mark Killane.
They're fighting us out.
Look now! A drink, Josie, for the love of heaven.
What's up, Danny?
I'll tell you what's up. Michael Fagan is dead.
Dead? Do you mean dead or killed?
I mean killed. Killed by that dirty land grabber Killane.
How did it happen, Danny?
How does a murder always happen when a cutthroat is allowed to live amongst us? He threw Michael into the quarry on the Cong Road. I saw it with my own 2 eyes. Cold-blooded murder. A man whose only offence was to be thrown off his farm. The Arrow not men at all. These times don't breed men.
Go easy, Danny. Don't you think you've stirred up enough trouble for one day? What are you after now?
I'm after justice.
And who's going to pronounce it, you?
Why not?
Without hearing the evidence? Now, listen, Danny. You and I have known each other a long while. Time was you used to take me advice.
That time passed when you deserted us and took to your fancy land leave.
Well, there's nothing fancy about this, Danny. Listen, I want to tell you a thing or two. I had a gun. Michael took it from me home to shoot Killane. Until we know what happened that day, leave things be.
Just a minute, boys, just a minute. Let's not be over hasty if that's the truth.
That dirty land grabber killed our Michael, that's the truth. There's no getting round that. And there's no bringing him back.
Poor Michael.
Aye, let us look well at him, but just not lift a finger. Let us have wisdom and discretion. When a good friend is murdered by a man who stole his farm.
Now, Danny. Don't be rising tempers like a good man. If it's the truth you're saying, let the police take care of it.
The police? Did you see the way they acted on the course today? They'll be on Killane's side. They'll make a hero out of him, and we'll just stand around and watch.
We didn't stand around this afternoon.
No! Danny's right. There's murder been done. One of us has been killed. Are we gonna let that happen and no answer? No!
But give me the answer. What are we going to do?
Kill him!
All right. Kill him. On to Calawa.
There'll be no killing here tonight, Daniel, till you've learned the truth of this.
Are we going to listen to Mr. Traitor Davin? No! We've been betrayed by you once too often, me bucko.
Hadn't you better stop here, Daniel, till you calm down?
And who's going to stop us here?
I am. You'll not leave this place till you come to your senses. Oh!
Let him lie.
Come on, off to Killore. Wait now. There's police in the street everywhere. We don't want to start any trouble. Them that think as I think drift out peacefully in 2s and 3s, and we'll all meet up at the Headford Crossroads in 10 minutes.
Right. You got it that time, Hugh, lad.
Josie, get us a glass of water, quick.
You know which road they took?
I hear the Headford Crossroads dropped. They'll be meeting there.
Give me a hand. So I get to Killane. Anne, she won't be safe either. I must get there first. I'll take the cut to Killare by Lochmask House.
Go easy, Hugh. After what happened today, the police will be all round Lochmask. They'll be waiting an attempt on Boycott's life.
I'll take care. It's the shortest way.
Good luck, Hugh.
Thanks.
Are we all ready? Yes. Off with the show.
thoughtless man.
There's a mob on his way to lynch Mark Cullen. I might have got him away if these blundering Aegis hadn't interfered.
What kind of story is this? What were you doing in these grounds?
Who's lynching Cullen?
You ask that after what happened at the race course today.
If Davin here is speaking the truth, Colonel, we must send some men to protect Cullen. I don't want
I dare not give such an order. My men are in a state of revolt due to your criminal stupidity.
If Cullen is killed, you'll be answerable.
Because he murdered Fagan? We're not responsible for local feuds, Davin.
There's only one feud in these parts, and you started it. For years I've watched you twisting this poor Aegis around your finger. Well, now you're making a murderer of him. I hope you're well satisfied.
If there's a chance of your getting the Cullens away, Davin, your horse is in the stable.
Dismiss you, men.
Grant unto him, O Lord, and let perpetual light shine upon him. May he rest in peace.
You and Billy must leave this place at once. There's a mob on the road seeking vengeance for Michael's death.
It's too late for that, Hugh.
Not for them. You saw them on the race course. They're 10 times worse now, Father. It's not enough that Mark Cullen is dead. They're after blood, and they'll care little whose blood it is. Get away from here at once, for the love of heaven. I'll try and stop him at the gate.
You come back.
Now and listen. Mark Cullen is dead. Dead be a bullet from Michael Fagan's gun.
Out of our way, Davin!
Hang him from that tree!
Stay down!
Still and listen to me.
Out of the way! We want justice.
Daniel McGinty, you had ever more heart than head. What a blundering fool you are. This moment of your madness is our moment of victory. Look, my people, look yonder towards Nelty Hill. The army is leaving, your enemies are in retreat, and with them goes the rack renter into exile. You have broken and defeated him, not as I warned you by violence, but by a greater, more Christian and more powerful means. Here on the shores of Loch Mask, you have forged a weapon which will strike terror into the heart of any man that levies an unjust rent. In this little parish, you have set an example which will go down in human history and will be studied and followed wherever people are oppressed. So go to your homes now and leave violence be. And in the future, if any man offends against the community, you can ostracize him. You can isolate him. You can boycott him.